Good morning, everybody. I see some tiny eyes still from Night Summit last night. Yeah, I see a few not really awake. Tor, you're awake? Pauline, you're awake? Fernandez over there, you're awake? Okay, good. Everybody seems to be a bit awake. Okay, this morning will be a nice packed session of on the Buy and Aid stage with some wonderful people having good talks. And a lot of it will be also about big data and how to use it wisely and how to use it correctly. That's why I want to have this little talk with you guys. So with big data comes big responsibility. I'll tell you what I mean with that. Yeah. What I love to do when I was younger is, and still do actually, is do some tiny social engineering. I basically just go into a shop, and if you see the name tag, you just call in her name, and she'll be a lot friendlier. You'll go like, "Hi Erica, how you doing? I'm here to pick up some flowers for my wife." And she'll help you so much better. I don't know if that's a thing here. Who's from Portugal, by the way? Oh, it's quite a lot, actually. I don't have to ask who's not from Portugal, but that should be the rest then. I don't know if it's in your country the same as in the Netherlands, but in the Netherlands, if you're on the train or any other public transport, there's always this one guy calling his mortgage broker or his wife or some other person with very personal details. He'll talk about, well, his mortgage, and he'll share his personal details, his phone number. And I love to go past him to the toilet, walk back, and I go like, "Hey, Jan, how are you doing? How's your wife, Patricia? Did the mortgage go through, by the way? I heard you wanted to buy a new house." And they'll be so surprised for the very first few minutes. That inspired us to do something in the evenings to check, well, what can you do with minimum effort and a lot of fun technology? Also, one of the inspirations we had is actually the Chinese police, who do facial recognition in public areas. They use it for good, of course, to find criminals, not any other social issues though. And we had an idea. We're going to use that same facial recognition software that's on the surveillance cameras out there on the streets even, and see what we can use it for. Sorry, my voice is going a bit. China, by the way, uses this very widely, also on a social scale. So this is readily accessible stuff. This is nothing strange. It works. China does mention it works within a few seconds, but if you dig a bit deeper, sometimes there's a 5 or 6 day delay before it actually works. So it's a bit iffy. It's not that great facial recognition, but it's also used for jaywalking and offenders, so that was fun to work with. Okay, so we started testing. We started testing with a HoloLens. This, of course, looks amazingly silly if you walk down a train with a HoloLens on your face. You go like, "Hi Tor, how are you doing? How's your wife? Does she know you're here?" So yeah, this doesn't look good. But okay, it was just testing. Did you know the next generation will look like this, by the way? So it's going to be a bit more creepy. This is the Intel Vaunt. And in this case, you actually don't see that good that it's a smart glasses anymore. So for us, it was viable to have a look into how you can actually use some of the Microsoft cognitive services of Azure and combine it with camera stuff. By the way, this is also new glasses coming out. This is called Vue glasses. They're coming out in a few months. It doesn't look like smart glasses anymore. And even so, some of them don't have cameras. That's no problem whatsoever. We all know depth sensors. We have them on our iPhones, and now also on our new Samsung devices. So you don't actually need cameras anymore to recognize somebody. If you have their facial profile ones, then you can actually work with that. Okay, and here's an experiment from a Russian photographer who also inspired us to check what we can do with this. He could get about 65% of all the people he took a picture of in public. He could find them on social profiles. These are actual pictures of, by the way, it's always fun to see that nobody actually looks at each other. They're just looking at their mobiles. And their social profile is way better than their personal life, so it looks like it. But you can get about 65% hits of the people you just randomly take a picture of in public transport. Okay, and what happens if you have their social profile? If you can grab their social profile, it gets really exciting. There's a lot of data lovers in here, so and probably also a lot of developers. If you basically have more than 10 likes of somebody, so you just clicked on likes and show what his favorite movies are and his favorite music is. With more than 10 likes, you actually know him better than his work colleague. With more than about 100 likes, you know him better than his best friend. With more than 200 likes, you actually know him better than his own mother or her mother. And that's on a 5-level scale. It's log scaled. And it's amazing what you can do with that. Oh, it went, yeah, here we go. Accidentally clicked. That combined with not only the likes that we saw, but we could analyze the pictures they took. But 9 out of 10 times, also the pictures they took is actually the stuff they like to do or see. So we run it through some cognitive services, and we just got, this is actually a picture we just randomly took off the internet, and we threw it via the cognitive services. And yes, you can see it has a 79% confidentiality, because confidence, so that's what you rate it on, it's really high, of a woman walking down a dirt road with a dog. I think that's really impressive. So you can really have some awesome information on a person. And of course, we're not going to recognize everybody. If you're going to walk down the street, you're not going to recognize everybody. And this 65% is really high because that's Russia, and they have their own social platform, and it's easier to scrape all the information from their social platform. But it doesn't matter to get everybody, just a small percentage is actually good. If you just zoom into a few people you actually can see, and you can get their information, it's still amazing what you can do with that information. You can, for instance, if you're selling dog food, you can choose on a confidence scale who owns a large dog. You'll sell more dog food to somebody who has a large dog. So you don't, small tiny dogs, no use. I want all the people with large dogs. So if they have a picture on their social profile with large dogs, you're our target group. Thank you very much. Now it gets interesting. You can also get their emotional feedback once you start talking to them. So you can see how their reaction is based, or what their emotions are based on their reaction, and you see in their face. You can get really high ratings based on this information. Here's Johnny. This is a nice combination. You see there's a 43% anger, and there's a 50% happiness. So he's really happy about being angry. This is not the person you want to talk to. Like, no, I'll skip this one. I'll go to the next one. Yeah, so combining that. China uses this again, by the way, in schools. This is widely accepted technology. If you're not paying attention or slowly falling asleep, you're probably... and the school teacher doesn't even have to look at you. It will automatically just notify the teacher who's sleeping or not paying attention. So it's fun stuff. Works. Okay, so combine all the information we just had. We know about you, we know what you like, we know your facial, we see via emotions how you react to our conversation. If we take into account that it's too much information to handle for a person, just get all that information there and start with a good chat script, what if you combine that with a chatbot? If you combine it with a chatbot, you actually can start a conversation with somebody. Like this is, for instance, this is Jessica. She's just some random person in the street. This is fictional, of course. And if you would be able to recognize her, you'd see that she is Jessica Anderson. You get her maybe a rating on how old she is, what she does for a living, what she earns approximately, what her favorite topics are. And with combining that with the chatbot, you can actually start an advised chat with her. So She's very happy and positive towards you. This is also good. You're going to just stand there in the middle of the road, and you're going to sigh a bit. Have you ever been to, I don't know, New York? And then you stand there with your luggage. You go like, oh, I'm going to New York. Oh, that's... And then you'll get a response of that. And you can use that feedback loop to continuously have an enormous, tremendous good sales pitch with her. You can sell her basically anything. The thing that we've seen while testing is also very sad. We walked into restaurants and saw that somebody's mother died a few weeks ago, and the chatbot just started to advise on having a conversation with him on his deceased mother. So that was really creepy stuff. And here comes the kicker. This is so creepy, this stuff. And we talk a lot about companies like Cambridge Analytica, and everybody thinks also that the management of Cambridge Analytica is responsible for creating the stuff they've made. I personally also think that we are responsible. If we as data scientists or developers just not accept to build what they're asking, it will not be made. It's simple as that. So, I point to you, and this is also a very nice social experiment. Every time you'll see her, you will be remembered of that you have a responsibility in life. You will start seeing her everywhere from now on. So that's going to be a funny experiment for you as well. And just remember that you will use your power for good and use your data for good. That's the whole idea. Yes? Can I count on you guys? Thank you very much. Tor, you're paying attention? Stop writing. Kidding there. Okay, and with no further ado, I have the first guest for this morning. I can say Casey Coffeepot. She just told me, if you can't pronounce my name, you can say just Casey Coffeepot. Casey Kozakov from Google is coming. She does a talk on machine learning and artificial intelligence. They have, those two have been most used and often misused words in the English language. So let's strip away the jargon and ask someone who knows their stuff to explain. Our first speaker's day job means she has not only understood AI and machine learning, but be able to navigate its opportunities and challenges too. What a way to start the morning. Please welcome Google's Chief Decision Scientist, Casey Kozakov.